Hello again, guys. It's Carly from the Poetry of Nice, and today I have another weekly sales update video for you guys. So this has not been a very good week sales-wise for me. I'm just going to say that right up front. I have included every sale that I made this week from Etsy, Poshmark, and eBay, which are all the platforms that I sell on. And I just figured I would show you everything. I have a lot of lower dollar items and a lot of things that I took offers on that I maybe wouldn't have taken that low an offer, but I just got to the point of being sort of desperate, I think, towards the end, trying to make sure that I was at least netting something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down each item for you. I'll let you know what I spent on it originally, where I got it from, what it sold for, when the buyer paid for it, and then I'll also let you know at the end how everything breaks down between like the amount I spent on all the items that I show you, how much I spent on fees, and how much I actually walked away with from everything that's going to be listed here, just so you can get an idea of what realistically it's like selling online and what you can actually make in terms of profit. So without further ado, I am going to start with Etsy. So as you can see here, this is a vintage floral skirt. It's vintage. It's from the, obviously I just said vintage, but it's from the 90s. This was actually from a rummage sale haul not too long ago, about a month or so ago. It's been listed for about 3 weeks at this point. And I actually didn't think I was going to pick this one up because I didn't think it would really sell. Honestly, I thought that the print was maybe just a little too out there or not on trend enough. But anyway, it sold really quickly on Etsy. Within a week of listing it on that platform, it was cross-posted on eBay and Poshmark too. It didn't get much action there, but obviously Etsy got scooped up. I spent 50 cents on this at the rummage sale because it was fill a bag, and it sold for $19.95. I'm not going to talk about the fees as I show you each item, just because it's easier to break it all down at the end for you as like a flat 20% across all platforms, even though they do vary ever so slightly between them. I'm going to call it 20% at the end just to kind of make sure that I'm not pretending to make more than I actually do, because that doesn't help anybody. So we're going to call it 20% just to like be on the safe side here, be conservative. And also I'm going to mention as well that with almost all of my items, the buyer pays the shipping. And if that ever differs and I offer free shipping on an item, I will be sure to let you know. All right, on to the next item. And then a mug. So this sold for $14.95, and I spent 25 cents on this at a yard sale. Just a little vintage 80s mug. Getting old is no damn fun. Don't we know it? And then his teeth are stuck in the wood. There we go. Why not? So just a novelty mug, really. What can I say? I like to pick them up when I think that they're funny or they're specific to either like a company. Pretty much only when they're vintage. Sometimes I'll pick up newer ones, but only really like when they're specific to a company or a character or something like that. So I've sold ones for like Delta Airlines. I sold plenty of Disney ones, and then things like this where they're obviously just there's a novelty to them. So this was actually listed probably going on about 9 months at this point. So I'm glad that it sold. But like I said, 25 cents into $14.95, and the buyer paid shipping. That's everything for Etsy. God bless it. All right. Poshmark. So I had 6 sales this week on Poshmark, which is way slower than it usually is for me, but hey, what can you do? So this I also picked up at the same rummage sale that I got the skirt from. So I paid 50 cents again when everything was evened out. It was like a wool knit headband, vintage, such a cool little vintage logo down here. So many of you guys in the comments like chirped in and told me a bit more about like Park City and things like that that I should know about, and I just really enjoyed learning that. So thank you to everybody who commented to help me out with this listing, and it sold within 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks I should say, of listing. Like I said, paid 50 cents and I took a best offer of $20. Ann Taylor tweed pencil skirt. I paid 75 cents for this at a rummage sale, and I took a best offer of $13. Like I said, desperate times. $13. So yeah, there it goes. I just don't do very well with Ann Taylor at the moment. Okay, so I've had this item for a long time. It's been listed on eBay and Etsy. I recently decided to redo my photographs. The other photographs honestly were terrible. I wish I had kept them just to show you what they were like, but I decided to pop it up on the mannequin and actually have some nice light on it and go ahead and sort of rejuvenate it and cross-post it onto Poshmark. So it's been listed on Poshmark for about a week now. Bearing in mind on eBay and Etsy, it was listed for over a year, I think, at this point. It's vintage Christian Dior. It wasn't a particularly wonderful fabric blend. blend. It was, I think, 100% acrylic, but it felt almost like cashmere. It was really interesting. It was so soft. Hard to convey that in a photograph, obviously. But anyway, I digress. So I paid $2.50 for this half price at a thrift store about a year ago. And like I said, cross-posting it to Poshmark, it sold within a week. So I feel like that does speak volumes in terms of spreading your inventory across several different platforms with different demographics, shopping and things like that. It definitely can help when times are slower. This I paid 50 cents for at a rummage sale. It was like a, I don't know how to describe it. It was like a store that was doing a clear out. And yeah, 50 cents. And I sold, I took a best offer. I think I maybe even sent an offer of $10. I've had it now for about 7 to 8 months listed. And it's actually the old kimchi blue label. I'm going to go ahead and show you that. There you go. So I just decided it was time to let it go, really. It's originally from Urban Outfitters Kimchi Blue, if you weren't familiar. It had, several likes and things like that, but just nobody ever was particularly interested in a skirt. Skirts seem to move fairly slow for me, even in spring and summer. So $10, it's out of here. There's still a profit made, and I don't have to share it anymore. This was a little bit disappointing. I was so hopeful to get a better amount on this. I just absolutely loved this acid wash, like a long sort of midi length skirt, high waisted. I just thought this thing was so cool. But eventually I had it listed for like 45 and then down to 35 and had a couple of likes, and it was across all 3 platforms as well. But just nobody ever bought it. So eventually I think someone sent me this offer of $20. I have let me see, 75 cents in this as well, because I got it at a rummage sale, and I just decided to go ahead and take that $20 and move along, since it's been listed for, again, I want to say around 8 months at this point. And the last Poshmark sale was sort of a strange one. It's a men's item, so I'm still learning to go ahead and list those men's items because they do move on Poshmark. And it was a new with tags, Columbia hunting, like a quarter zip sweatshirt. I got this for $1 at a church rummage sale. It's been listed on eBay again for, oh my goodness, how long has it been listed for? Probably about 9 months at this point. It's been listed for a really long time because I got it up as soon as I picked it up because I was so excited. It's probably 8 or 9 months. I just had no interest there whatsoever, even around like the same price point as you see here on sales, all that kind of stuff. Like I said, paid $1. I took a best offer of $20. And again, cross-posting from eBay, finally saying, okay, I'll give the men's Columbia sweatshirt a chance on Poshmark and see what happens. It sold within 2 weeks of listing it on Poshmark. So I'm learning more about Poshmark every week and what it's capable of, I have to say. All right, and on to eBay finally. So eBay has been a cruel mistress to me this week, I'll tell you what. So I've had 4 unpaid item cases, which have all been closed down without a resolution in terms of the people haven't paid, which equaled around $75, if not more, of sales, which is kind of disappointing. I know it happens. That's totally okay. But isn't it funny how these things always seem to come in like little clusters? And unfortunately, I had issues with several buyers where it was the same kind of thing. They purchased something from me, and before they paid, they sent me a message and asked me a question, maybe about like a measurement, or said, something like that. And I replied straight away with the information they wanted, including like photographs and, everything I would usually do to try and make sure that they felt comfortable with the sale. And then they just disappeared into the ether, and I never heard from them ever again. Even though, reaching out and saying, hey, are you still interested? Would you prefer to cancel the sale if the item is going to work for you? All the good stuff. And I just never heard from them. So I got to ride the wave of, I think it's a total of like 8 days once you sort of have to wait until you can open your unpaid item, and then go ahead and wait until you can close the case. So, I have several items here that have just sat without the opportunity to sell again, and it's just really disappointing. And then I also had one cancellation. Someone purchased something, paid for it, including the shipping, and then sent me a message half an hour later saying that it was supposed to be free shipping. If I don't take the shipping off, cancel the order. And I absolutely canceled the order because it wasn't free shipping, and I'm not taking $10 off your order. Obviously, you knew there was shipping because you paid. Anyway, I'm not meaning to rant. I'm just saying, overall, it's been a trying week with eBay. That's okay. That's fine. The sales have been low anyway, and it's disappointing to lose some of those sales to situations like that. But that is just how it happens sometimes, and you get the good and you get the bad. And at least here I am at home working for myself and loving my job. So it's all good. So let's go ahead and see what actually sold and got paid for. So Pure and Good Anthropology, this sold for $17.99. It took forever, almost a year, I think, to sell. I actually originally paid $4 at a thrift store. I would not pay that much, I guess, for this brand again. I just thought it was a really cute style. It's like almost like a Henley style to it. Really nice, teal, space dye, kind of mild pattern to it. It just didn't do very well on any platform. So $17.99 is what it eventually went for. I sold one of these. These actually I have down as 0 for cost of goods because we got one of those. Oh God, I don't even know what it's called. My husband is in charge of the tech in the house, if you can't tell. It's like the Google screen that goes in the kitchen, so like you can talk to it while you're cooking or whatever. And I don't know. Apparently we needed one. I'm not sure. Anyway, we got one of those around Christmas time on a sale, and the deal was it was like reduced to $100 or something from $150, and then you got 2 Google Home Minis with it, which are worth around $30 a piece in store. So it was a really good deal, and especially doing what I do, it kind of becomes a no-brainer to take deals like that because I just go ahead and resell the unopened tech that came with it. So here we go. Here's one of them, and I have one other to sell as well. So I had my cost of goods down as 0 because this was just like an addition into the deal we were going to buy anyway. Sold for $22.97 plus shipping, which actually I will say is slightly above the market value. I think they're trending at like $21 with free shipping, but I just wanted to get a little bit more out of it. So I'm playing the long game. I think that the market was super saturated, or at least was super saturated right there after Christmas when that deal came out. It was pretty obvious that a lot of people had got these and decided to resell them. I am okay with waiting a little bit longer until somebody wants to purchase, and that's what happened here. So there we go. Onwards. So Franco Sato, these were like almost knee high, and probably just like, just below the knee. Leather square-toed boots. They kind of had a really cool like witchy gothic-y feel to them. I don't know. They were kind of neat. And I actually paid 50 cents for these at the rummage sale that I got the skirt and that kind of stuff from. So 50 cents, not too bad at all. And they sold for $27.99, as you can see here. Calvin Klein jeans, I've had these again for almost a year. I paid $1 at a yard sale. I took a best offer of $10 just to get them out of here and get some sales rolling in. This Leapfrog, like little lot of 7 books. I have approximately $2 down here as my cost of goods because I actually had a giant stack of books, and then I got like 2 pens and a case and all this kind of stuff. And I actually divided them all up. So I had like a Disney lot with the pen and the software. And then I had like a non-Disney lot with like maybe 20 something books and the pen. And I sold each one of those lots for $50 a piece. And then this is kind of like what was left over that didn't really fit in either of those lots. So I decided to throw them all together, 7 books, and see what I could get for them. So they paid $12 plus shipping. So that ended up being a really good purchase, that Leapfrog thing. It's pretty much $5 into like 112. So I would definitely suggest looking out for those, especially the pens, because you can't buy the original pens anymore, and the cords, software, all that kind of stuff. People do look for those, so keep your eyes open. I got this for 50 cents at the same rummage sale, the filler bag, 50 cents when everything's evened out. It was new, like sealed, Canon, Pixma, whatever. You can see the title there, you can read. I don't do a lot of selling like ink and stuff unless it is a good brand like Canon and it is new and sealed. This actually did not have a expiration date on it. I had several people check to see if they could see, so I had to disclose that in my listing that I could not find expiration dates, and therefore I'm unsure of its expiration. But I do know that it is new and sealed, so we'll see how that rides out. But anyway, and I took a best offer of, I think, $12 on that. And like I said, it was 50 cents. This sold for the $9.59 you see here on sale. I actually used to do really well with bras, especially Kashi, however you want to say it. This brand right here, Victoria's Secret, Soma, all those different kind of things. I used to do really, really well with them. They used to sell really, really quickly for me. And now those bra sales have just slowed right down, no matter what the size. So I don't know what's going on there necessarily, but $9.59. I paid about $1, but I'm glad to have it out of here. This was also 50 cents at the rummage sale. I took a best offer of $15. Victoria's Secret, just a long sleeve like nightshirt with the embroidered what's it over here. Yeah, that's not too bad. That was a really quick sale, probably 2 to 3 weeks for that one. These took a lot longer than I thought they would. These are the first pair of Mephistos that I've ever picked up, and I haven't found them since. I paid $4 at a church sale, and they sold for a best offer of $35, but I've literally had them for about 10 months now with little to no interest. I was kind of disappointed because I thought that they were a really good brand. I know that they cost a lot to buy, and the comps looked really, really promising, but for whatever reason, they just kind of sat around. So $35 is what they sold for. This sold within 2 weeks of being listed. It's koi, as you can see here. I paid $2 at a half-price thrift store day. And I took $15 because it had a little flaw. By the way, how cute is that around her ankle, the little koi beads? I just thought that was such a neat little touch. There you go. It's like a little bit of a color bleed right there. But overall, really, really cute. I love these like bold specific prints with koi and all the beading and stuff. They always seem to do really well for me. So $15 is what they sold for. This, I had a feeling this would sell really quickly. It was a no-name brand. It was just a vintage, sort of like 1990 striped fleece jacket, kind of thin, not like, you know, a good piece for layering, I would say. Like I said, nothing like super specific necessarily, but it was just a nice kind of like on-trend piece for, you know, whoever likes to wear those kind of fleeces and whatnot in this weather. And I took a best offer of $20, again, just to get things moving. Again, it was not a particular like name brand or anything. It was really just the style I was trying to sell. So I'm happy to turn the 50 cents into $20. This, so this is a Nike Golf Fit Dry Black Skirt. There you go. This actually cost me $6.50. If you haven't seen my reseller mystery box that I did, this was one of the items. I'll link that down below if you haven't seen it, by the way, in the description. But this was one of the items that I got. So technically, when all evened out, they all cost about $6.50. This sold for full asking price of $19.99, which is right at market value. But as you can tell, there's not a lot of room there for profit. I probably ended up walking away with $7 or $8 realistically. Not too bad. Very easy to photograph and measure. Very easy to ship. But yeah, so that was a nice little sale. And the last one is this item, again from the rummage sale, just a vintage kind of like 1980s little like workout bear for, I guess, as UT Vols. You can see all the orange, and they have the UT T there on the little tank top. And I spent again 50 cents on this, and I actually took a best offer of $18. Again, just trying to get those sales rolling. It's slightly out of season because it's not where I would usually be selling a lot of collegiate stuff, because we're not going into like football season or the start of school. So $18, that's fine with me. So let me give you my numbers as well. So I grossed this week $373.43. The amount that I spent on every single item that I showed you here was $29.75. My fees, I told you I was going to go ahead and just round them up to 20%. They differ on all the platforms, but they usually end up sitting anywhere between the 10 to 20%. I've chosen 20% overall because I just want to make sure that I'm giving a very realistic outlook on how much you would spend on fees selling online. So I'm going to call the fees around $74.69 just to be on the safe side. So that would give me a net profit this week of $268.99, which is way less than I would usually be walking away with. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. I'm just hoping that next week picks up. I'm actually going to start listing a lot more. I'm at the moment listing 5 items a day is my minimum. And I think I'm going to try and ramp that up this week and see if I can't sort of feed the beast a little bit and improve things for myself. I'll let you know how it goes next week in the sales update. All right, you guys, thank you so much for coming and watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would love it if you would. Come hang out. I do haul videos, sell videos, how-tos, tutorials, day in the lives, and all kinds of cool stuff in between. And I would love to have you. And guys, don't forget to say hello in the comments, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Bye, guys.